Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. And is this a Breaking Bitcoin Market Update, guys? It's really fantastic. We do get the chance to come in and see such amazing volatility. Just got the internet back online, was dealing with that maintenance issue kind of all day. So just brief update, TLDR. Everything should be amazing and diamonds moving forward. There shouldn't be any issues. So I'm really glad to see all you guys in the chat. It's good to see you guys active. It is an interesting and exciting day. Obviously, some amazing volatility in the market. I hope that you were able to profit whichever way. There was a beautiful trade to the upside, beautiful trade to the downside. I'll give you guys a little bit of an update on my position and how I played this. It's kind of one of those interesting things where, because of that spike, because of both spikes, indicators have been adjusted. So I did my updates this morning, but now I get the opportunity to kind of come back in and we get to do this together. So this is going to be a little bit of a different show because I'm just coming back online and being able to see everything that just happened. So real quickly, the first thing that I did when I got back online was posted all the updates to the current trades to the members, let them know what you should hold, what we should go ahead and take profit on, et cetera, et cetera. So got that all done. Very confident in all the positions that I'm currently holding right now. It's a pretty good basket, I think, that is diversified and will kind of hedge me against any way that the market decides to go. So I've taken profit on what I could take profit on, and I'm holding on and buying dips where I can buy dips. So anyways, let's get into the market, get into the scene. Before we start the day's show off, I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys coming in and tuning in. Thank you so much for all your support. You guys are a wonderful, amazing audience. I hope you're doing fantastic wherever you're coming from. And one way or the other, I hope that you guys were able to profit from the movement. Of course, I do see all the regulars in here. Actually, I see some new people in too. What's going on, Ron Legato, CBN5? Good to see you, Jasper. What's going on, man? Are you going to be playing the broadly speaking drinking game tonight? Hopefully. Let's see here. Jasper, Kill Wilson, Mr. Ether. Good to see you. What's going on? Cheap Vlog, you're a new one. Tristan Toft, BF, Todd. Andrew Adams says this is when you short. Bernardio Patricio, good to see you. Seth Shepard. Yeah, so it's good to get kind of the evening crowd in here when I do the shows a little bit differently. So everything looks really good. Tuning along. If you have any questions, please drop them in. Please drop them in the chat, and we'll do our best. And we will do our best to kind of stay out of. I don't even know where I was going to go with that. Anyways, to the charts. All right, and here we are. Here we are at the live scene, and my webcam's not on. Get that on. Interesting. Okay, anyways. We'll go to the schedule here real quick and make sure we got this updated. We're gonna look at all the data metrics. We're gonna start off by doing an analysis of the movement that just happened. We're gonna look at it on the Ichimoku, which is the indicator we're highlighting this month. Next, I think that's something that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be highlighting different indicators and how you can practically utilize them for day trading applications, how you can also practically utilize them for longer term swing trade analysis as well. So obviously, this month we've been focusing on the Ichimoku. Now the Ichimoku is an indicator that I do use on a daily basis and that I do put a lot of weight on. However, I want to, in the goal of helping you build your own if this then that strategy, what I'd like to do moving forward is pick a different indicator that I think is good because there's thousands of indicators out there. And one of the things that you will notice quite plainly is that you're going to get a lot of there's a bias out there in the trading community, right? Because for years and years and years and years and years, if you tried to utilize indicators in trading, and I'm talking about going on forums or whatever you want to talk about. I've been doing this for a while, and so I've seen the scorn, bitterness, hatred, rage. People get tribal and they go into their different camps. But there's lots of really good indicators out there that if you are a retail trader are going to be able to help you devise strategies. You're going to get flack from that. You're going to get people that tell you, look, bro, all you need is a naked chart. And to the small percentage of people who are able to utilize that and at the end of the year have their equity curve higher, that's fantastic. I am able to do that as well, but I prefer to fit price action analysis into what my indicators are telling me. Why? Because with indicators, you can build an if this then that strategy, right? And then you can enhance that over time with an understanding of price action analysis. You can put nuance into what you're seeing in the chart. But people who, especially retail traders, newer traders coming in, you get told that nonsense that, look, bro, all you need is the naked chart, man. And you'll be good, dude. This is why 99% of traders lose money. Is because, yes, you can capture the tops, you can capture the bottoms, you can understand what price is doing if you put the time, discipline, and effort into understanding price action analysis. But the reason that the majority of traders lose money is because you are entering that realm, worshiping at the altar of price action, is entering the realm of subjectivity, okay? You are entering the realm of I don't know what to do when. because if you ask 10 different people, they're going to give you 10 different answers. Like this movement that we just saw, is this the beginning of genuine downtrend, or is this a stop loss hunt? Was it a stop loss hunt to the upside? Was it a stop loss hunt to the downside? You're going to get 19 different answers if you ask 19 different people, right? So just give you guys a brief update on where I'm at, so that I'm being upfront with where we're at, where we're going on. As I said in yesterday's video, and as I posted, I need to be better at posting in the general Discord. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just so busy. I've got so much stuff going on. I need to be taking some of the stuff that I put in the premium section and moving it over, which I intended to do and will do better moving forward with the daily market analysis. And Scott does help me out with that. He pings me every day, and he's like, hey, did you remember to move that over to everybody? Yes. So I do try to do that as best as I can. But if you guys refer to my video yesterday, I pointed out the areas on the higher time frame level that I did want to be looking for short entries from. I broadly spoke about the area of 5350, or excuse me, above 5300. But if you rewatch the video, you will hear me identify the levels of 5325 and 5375. I just went back and checked. Because I wanted to make sure, because I posted that. I know I posted it in the member section, but I wasn't sure that I said those specific levels on the stream. And I did. I went back and double checked that I did say those levels. So, but anyways, I did have limit sell orders at 5325 and 5375 for an average entry of 5350. Sorry if I misspoke earlier. 5325 and 5375, average entry of 53. Those were filled on the pump. I was not in a long position before the pump, but my short entries were filled. And we're going to play that out right now. It's not a position that I'm interested in losing money on, because if we do refer back to price action analysis, which we'll get into here in a little bit, there is a convincing argument that I will give heed to and that I will point out for the bullish scenario. I know a lot of people are very excited, very exuberant right now. What are we going to be seeing in the immediate hours? We're going to be seeing sideways action in the immediate hours. After a volatile movement to the upside and a volatile movement to the downside, I would give this a 90% chance that we continue in consolidation. And depending on the peaks and valleys that consolidation shapes, I believe will be indicative of whether this is the beginning of genuine downtrend or whether this was a stop loss hunt. However, I will go ahead and I'll make the bullish scenario first. But before we do that, let's throw on Ichimoku and talk about analyzing this price action behavior. What were these signals? What were the signs? What are the trade opportunities that you could have utilizing Ichimoku to take this trade? So getting here, we're gonna start on the 15-minute chart, as we have been doing. As we can see, price is in general sideways. We do get a buy signal here with time transformation at around 52.11. We don't get a sell signal. Let's go ahead and take Ichimoku off, because that's going to, so there you go. Here's the 15-minute time transformation indicator. As you can see, you did get a 15-minute buy signal right here. This candle closed at 52.11 and 50 cents. And then you do get a sell signal right over here, right before the dump. So again, if you can point out to me an indicator that consistently and regularly can be that good, I would like to hear it. And again, it's not perfect. There are times when it does give bad signals and indicators, but when it gets it right, damn, does it get it right. Let's see. Todd says, me trading Bitcoin is traffic on the highway in reverse. Oh, shoot, man. Price action alone. Driving a car without rear view mirrors. Good indicators. Driving a car with good rear view mirrors. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Go to the fatherly advice cam. All right. Do that. Yeah, guys. I mean, it's just simple. If you don't have an if this then that strategy, you're not going to know what to do. You can see both cams. No, okay, let's hold on to that for a while. Okay, anyways, moving on. I'm actually going to build a nicer scene for that. But let's so we've pointed out what happened with time transformation. You would have got that indicator at midnight 45 my time, 00:45 on the 9th. So right this morning, you would have been in a long position. You would have had a maximum of about 1.22% drawdown. And again, kind of the critical ideas here. Now, this zone right here might have faked you out. That's what we'll bring back Ichimoku to give you the indications that Ichimoku would have given as well. But anyways, you have a directional bias. Why? Because you do get a buy signal here. If we flip to the daily, If we flip to the daily as well, although the daily will be a little bit, and again, so here's an example of where you do get a 20, we had talked about this yesterday. We talked about the confirmed daily sell signal. Obviously, we didn't talk about the confirmed daily sell signal. The reason why is because the candle has to close to confirm, and we obviously weren't on air for the daily candle close. But anyways, we did have that sell signal yesterday. However, the things that I did point out and that I did say in yesterday's stream, and just in all honesty, what I am watching personally is we did get that daily sell signal. But after a move like this and with the sentiment in the air, I mean, really what you are looking for technically is the daily sell signal and a daily close below that ascending trend line that has been supporting price. Again, if we go back to the hourly right here, we can see that that ascending trend line has really worked good wonders. So let's go ahead and extend this to the right side, and we can see that it is still holding up quite nicely, which is part of the bullish scenario that I'll build here in just a little bit. But before we do that, let's get back into that 15-minute chart and talk about how you could have caught this movement. Again, utilizing time transformation, it's going to be more sensitive. It's going to give you better indications. The reason why you do want to use it in conjunction with something, I think it's best used in conjunction with a volatility indicator or a volume indicator. That's going to the purpose of a volume indicator, the purpose of a volatility indicator. The volume oscillator is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. WADA TAR is a little bit more nuanced. You guys know that that is the indicator that I use to measure volume and volatility. And what that will do is that will help me stay out of bad trades. The problem is that you cannot use WADA TAR in conjunction with buy and sell signals on time transformation. Why is that? Because time transformation buy and sell signals, as I've coded it, and I have got a lot of requests to make the time transformation trending indicator, right? Because it does have the trending function now utilizing Heikinashi, all right? So we're always looking at Heikinashi to determine what the trend is, and then time transformation will give you trending signals as well. I don't recommend using it on the 15-minute chart. I recommend using the 15-minute chart for intraday range scalping, which, for the majority of time, for 80% of the time, actually 95% of the time, is a good strategy. The reason why is because lately price has been ranging, right? Price ranges for majority of the day and then has a quick 10-minute move, right? Either up or down, and then consolidates at a higher level. But that consolidation enters into the opportunity where you can again utilize your range scalping abilities, right? You're buying oversold and selling overbought. And this strategy is going to do well for you the majority of the time. And with proper money management, key point here with proper money management is not necessarily stop loss placement, although that is important. The important thing is position sizing. Okay, so for example, had you been range trading this range here, for example, right? And say for some reason you were short on Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin did its nice spike and you panic sold the top, right? Not a good idea to do, right? Not a good idea to panic sell. You should always have an area on the chart. You should have two areas on the chart, right? Always with stop loss placement. For those of you guys who are in the members group, you guys know this. I'm constantly on this. There's a hard stop loss level. Where you do want to set a stop market, right? This is, okay, price has gone way too far. I have made a significant error and I must take a loss, right? I do not recommend setting a hard stop loss where you actually want your stop loss, especially if you're trading on BitMEX. The reason why is because you're going to see, especially on BitMEX, because it is somewhat of a sinister exchange, you're going to see a lot of grabs for liquidity, just point blank period. Now the stop loss timer or the timeout feature on 3 commas, which you guys know, or at least the guys in the members group know I utilize to trade Binance. Bennett's got a great video on that as well if you guys want to go check that out. I think it's one of his newer videos. But that stop loss timer feature is great. You can also, I want to say that trailing crypto has something similar as well, but I'm not sure. The thing that I'm excited about with trailing crypto is the OSO order. So the one sends the other, right? So utilizing this the proper way. So I get questions a lot, right? Questions I get are, how do you, because you guys are familiar with my strategy, if you guys have watched the video a lot, when take profit 1 is reached, I set my stop loss to break even. Generally when take profit 2 is reached, I set my stop loss to take profit 1. This does require a lot of active logging in and modifying my position. With OSO orders, however, you can set that all up in advance. So you can set utilizing OSO and OCO orders. So OSO, one sends the other. OCO, one cancels another. So you can set it up in advance to where, okay, listen, I'm going to enter this trade. Say I'm going to buy some Bitcoin at 5,000, right? I want to take profit at 5,100, 5,200, 5,300. I want my stop loss to be at 4,900, right? If my stop loss gets hit, I want to cancel my take profits, all right? That's the OCO order, right? You can set that up that way. The OSO order would be, okay, well, listen, when I set the limit order at 5,100, if that order gets filled, it sets a stop loss at break even, right? So you're not gonna, to the best of my understanding, you would have to have OSO plus OCO orders. You know, they'd have to be more complicated, or it'd have to be more advanced. For example, to take out your lower stop loss, but that's not important because you can choose reduce only, for example, right? If you're trading on BitMEX, and again, I don't think you can use trailing crypto on BitMEX. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't, because I don't use you can't use 3 commas on to trade BitMEX, and you can't use trailing crypto, as far as I know, to trade on BitMEX. I don't know, I haven't tried because I'm comfortable using BitMEX's integrated platform for trading, because they have advanced order features. They don't have everything that you would want. For example, they don't have the OSO orders, but we're able to make do. Obviously, especially for the members, you guys have watched the 2-hour-long videos that I have on BitMEX, the 2-hour-long video that I have on BitMEX where I go over the orders. So utilizing stop orders, utilizing trailing stops, for example, we're able to do exactly what we want on that exchange for the most part. Would it be better if we could utilize OSO orders and OCO orders more advanced? Yes, that would be fantastic and amazing. Arthur Hayes, if you're listening, please take note. Anyway, so I feel I have digressed a little bit. So let's get back into what we were talking about. So we talked about the 15-minute time transformation buy sell signal, how you can't use WADA ATAR because WADA ATAR is utilized for trending trades. And again, the request that I've gotten a lot, the traditional way to take a trending trade is if the Fisher is crossing above 0, that is a trending buy. And when that occurs, if you are utilizing a trend trading strategy, you need to have a secondary indicator that is measuring volume or volatility to tell you if that trade is worth it, right? The nice thing about reversal trading is that you are attempting to buy the bottom because you're looking for a turnaround. You're looking for a market reversal, right? That's the definition of a reversal trader, and that is typically my strategy. The problem that I have with trend trading in cryptocurrency is that often the volatility is not there, and often you are not going to be entering at the right time. Same with my hesitation on breakout trades. Now, does this mean that I sometimes miss pump and dumps? Sure. But again, I don't think that that's the point. The point is not to catch pump and dumps. That's not a sustainable strategy. When your insider information dries up, or when you just kind of fall out of the loop on your little pump and dump groups, you're going to be left at the end of the day with no profitable strategy to carry on to the future, right? I get a lot. I get messages. I get questions all the time. I wouldn't say I get flack because I actually am pretty impressed by the what do you call it? The feedback that I get. Glass in 1989, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube. I do get a lot of positive feedback, and that's why I say you guys are some of the best audience. Obviously we get some jokers in here, but for the most part, it's a really good crowd, and that's genuinely what I'm trying to build. I take this seriously. I try to I try to do everything I can to make the stream as good as possible. So anyways, I get, but you have people in their camps, in their tribal camps, and they say, Justin, why don't you like Ethereum? And that's a different question, but, or, why are you not, getting into pump and dump groups? Don't you know how much money you can make? Or why are you not reviewing all these projects that want to give you money? Like, don't you know how much money you can make? Okay, that's all well and good, right? That's great. And there are projects, for example, just full disclosure, like there are projects that I like that I'm not interested in taking payment for. We had X42 Protocol on the show the other day. I've brought Digi Warfare from Spectre Security Coin. I like those people. I like their projects. They didn't pay me to come on the show, right? That's not what I'm about. So it's a little bit different approach, what I'm doing, because my focus of my life is trading, right? Is working very, very hard, like I have over the last how many years, to build a strategy that works for me. And at the end of the year, gives me more money than when I started with. It doesn't matter to me if it's more money or less money than somebody else, or if I'm doing, if I'm not doing exactly what somebody else is doing. If you approach me with an amazing strategy, I would love to look at it. If I can find a way to incorporate elements of that into my strategy without breaking my strategy, I'd be interested. Those opportunities, especially now, with kind of how far I've taken my strategy, They're less common, but I'm always looking for opportunities to enhance my strategy. I'll give you an example. Things like scanners, things like, like Cryptometer, things like Algory, which was recently shown to me. Like, I'm not very good at using those tools. Why? Because I've never used them. So those are elements and areas at which I am looking to improve my ability, my trading. And I'm always looking for anybody that wants to offer tips, tricks, that has unique ways to utilize those tools and features. They're things that I'm working on building into my strategy and making available in a better way for the members group, because they're kind of like tools that get thrown at you and there's so many options and buttons to click on. It's like, okay, well, now it's data overload and I don't know what I'm looking for. So whenever you have a powerful tool like that, you want to be able to know, you want to be able to utilize it properly, because if you have a tool that gives you a lot of options, but you don't know how to utilize it, it's better off just not using the tool. It's better off utilizing what you're good at. And that's why I know traders who use very simple methods, and they're profitable. They're more profitable than people who can talk about 19 different complicated advanced things, right? And be looking at 90 million different things and have 15 screens up at the whole time. But at the end of the day, some of that simpler method, some of that simpler strategy is going to make your life simpler, and it's going to give you good returns, right? It's going to give you good returns. The problem with having too much data, too much information, is that you will tend to overtrade. So you got to be aware of the opportunity cost, the risk to reward ratio of incorporating additional information in your life. Let me see here. I want to give a shout out to Crypto Tobias and SK Tech. Thanks so much for the subs on YouTube, guys. That's a little bit behind the thing. Mbates got a new strategy. Buy subsat S coins and pray. Oh, okay. So one thing that I need to do, I noticed this yesterday. So let me change this up. My bad. I noticed this yesterday. Something happened and like the height of the chat got cropped. So let me fix that. Sorry, squirrel. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I had changed that when I had Gabriel on from X42 Protocol so that I could fit his thing up there. And I didn't go back and switch it. So anyway, sorry, back to what we were talking about. Let's look at Ichimoku here. Let's look at the 15 Ichimoku. Because again, you cannot utilize Wada Atar for reversal trading. Because Wada Atar's purpose is to measure volatility. And you're going to be using that for the basis of a trending trade. So if you're looking to scale into your position, for example, if you have taken a reversal buy pursuant to time transformation strategy, for example, and you're looking to like maybe add to that position, you're looking for time transformation to be above the zero line, and you're looking for Wada Atar to be green and bullish, right? You're looking for it to confirm. So an area like this, right? An area like this where you have time transformation crossing above zero, Wada Atar is confirming down here, or an area right here where time transformation crosses above zero. This would have been a pretty decent scalp depending on what you leveraged up. You had about a 1%, maybe more profit opportunity. But there was the signal right here. Here you have time transformation crossing above the zero line right here. And if we look at what Wada Atar is doing, it is nice and green and trading above the explosion line. So that is how you can, that is the purpose of Wada Atar. Wada Atar is to be used as a trending confirmation indicator, okay? There are methods and ways to use it to enhance reversal trading. I'll go into that. I will go into that in more detail, perhaps in a later video or perhaps later on in the stream. But again, pressing issues, things we want to get to. So anyways, price is over here. So let's go to that buy signal. So let's start at midnight 45. Price breaks down below the cloud. What did I say? I said that if you're looking for a short entry, you typically do not want to buy, you typically don't want to sell or short on the traditional way that you're going to be taught to utilize Ichimoku. For example, traditional Ichimoku strategy would tell you that when a candle closes below the cloud, that's bearish and you should sell. There are going to be maybe, this is subjective because I'm putting a percentage on it, but I would say maybe 15% of the time, maybe 25, maybe 25% of the time, you might miss like a violent breakdown movement, right? Okay. But 75% of the time, if you sell at those levels, price is going to retrace to test a level of previous support as confirmed new resistance, and then the movement begins. And the majority of traders are going to enter on what they think is a breakdown, or if we flip it, Kumo Collab breakout, a breakout, and they're going to sell or they're going to buy at the worst time, and price is going to pull back on them or price is going to pull up on them, and they're going to take a loss because they are emotionally reacting to what they see. On the 15-minute chart, I am seeing now, of course, this candle did just open, but we did just close below the ascending trend line. We've only done that in this brief spurt right here, and that was a fake out, double bottom, price bounced back up. But we're not having, again, we did have a nice bullish reactionary off the volatility of that candle, just like we got one. Actually, no, we didn't really get one here. If you look, we got significant selling, price moved up, and then price pushed to the downside. A little bit different now. So we are looking for that 15-minute to close below the ascending trend line. Obviously, the next thing that we're looking for is for price to close below the Kumo cloud, and things get pretty nasty. Now, just reversion to the mean strategy, I would expect us to move down and then move up a little bit before moving further down. Okay, things just don't go straight down. Things go down and they have to retreat back to confirm resistance to let the market know, hey, no, this is actually weakening and we're giving opportunities for sellers. Basically, whenever you have a strong move down, right, it's going to pop back naturally just because you have limit orders that are set down there. You have larger positions that are trying to accumulate, any dips, and they're going to take advantage of that. And the question you have to ask yourself was, okay, so for anybody that had so imagine this, like every tick on the candle is a buy or sell move. So we see that the low of that candle, this impressive candle that everybody wants to talk about, the low is 5109. So here's the low. So somebody bought at 5109 and they are now, they were here. They were up at a max of about 4%. Okay. If you are attempting to get money out of the cryptocurrency markets, right, and you are setting big limit orders around the range of price, you're profiting off intraday movements. Okay. It's a little different from what you typically think of, like, long-term holders or people accumulating bags and people taking profit. No, anybody that is moving the market within a tight range is either a market maker or trading like a market maker or has the capital to move the market and is scalping those intraday ranges. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You said you can't see the chart, but okay, so sorry, let's swing that over. So you have to ask yourself, what was the movement? What was the projected trade for them? Was the projected movement, 5109 to 5800? Was a market maker really trying to make the market in that way? A market maker is really going to hold on to a position that long, or was the movement 5109 to 5300? Almost, what was the high of this? 5323. Nice 5% trade. Boom, bam, done. I don't know, like high position, 5% off, what, $10 million position. So anyways, let's go back over here. So anyways, we do get that. What's interesting is that we get that signal to the downside right there, right? We get the Kumo cloud to break down. Okay. Traditionally, you're going to be taught that you should sell that. Don't do that. You're only going to miss movements 10 to 25% of the time. It's worth it. Risk management wise, it's worth it to miss the move than to the overwhelming majority of the time have price retrace on your entry, and you're often going to take a loss. Now, as we can see, our price does not break back above the cloud, but you do get your bullish. You do get your bullish signal. So let's say you would have shorted this movement, right? Your drawdown would have probably been about 1%. Okay. Why do I say your drawdown would have been 1%? Because if you are following the strategy the proper way, if you are trading Ichimoku the proper way, you would have been short on this candle, but again, that's not the proper way either. The proper way would have been to wait for any zone right here. You had multiple areas that I would consider a good entry, right? Because you never know in advance whether a trade's going to work out, right? You just have to take the best setups, right, that are congruent with your strategy, that you back tested, that you know are going to be the best entries over time, right? So, for example, here's a good entry, right? Because you have price closing below the cloud, and you have price pull back up and put in a 15-minute bearish candle against the Kijun. Okay, good. That would be a good entry. This candle would have been a good entry, probably a better entry. Why? Because you come back up, you test the upper boundary, the Senku Span A, and you reject, okay? This candle would have been a good entry, rejection from the upper boundary of the cloud. This candle, unable to close above the cloud. All these represent pretty good entries in my eyes. This area right here. This one right here would have been this one's a little tricky because it is a bearish candle formation. You can see the price does move down about 1.5% from that, but it is technically closing above the cloud. So this would have been an early warning sign to be out of your short. The other warning sign to be out of your short is definitely this area right here. This is what I'm trying to point out right here. So let's draw back. Let's bring back out that drawing tool and let's highlight this zone right here. Okay. Because right here, any of these would have been good short entries. It doesn't matter that price did not go down, right? What I'm talking about is that utilizing this strategy and this method, those are the entries that you want to look for, right? Price is closed below the cloud. You're testing support once, twice, 3, 4 times. I mean, there was the best argument to make was to the downside. Why? Because you've weakened support. And because typically the more times that you test support, the weaker it becomes. And then you have this zone right here where price actually breaks below the ascending trend line, which it had never done before. It was a fake out, right? Price does continue moving up from this a little bit. So let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of those drawings. I don't have to make every single one. There we go. Okay, and then you're obviously your sign to be out of the short and to take a small loss would have been either here when you have price close above the cloud and then begin consolidating above. You pull back down to a level of support. You have the ascending trend line, and then you have the Tenkan now acting as support, and you are now firmly above the cloud. Definitely your last kind of tell is this area right here, right, where price is now above the cloud, pulls back down, and finds the cloud as support. Okay, and then price continues to move up. Okay, so those are the warning signs that you're looking for that, hey, I should be out of the short and I should probably flip long. Why? Because we've found support. We've had a bullish Kumo cloud breakout. We did have this 15-minute buy signal back here. So that would, I'm just keeping Ichimoku right here. But again, you have that 15-minute buy, which is kind of in your mind, right? It's kind of in your mind. So you're looking for a reason to go long, and you get given that reason right here. Now, what are the odds that you profited on this long trade if you would have been trading the intraday scalp, if you weren't holding on to a long-term position long? So we're talking about trading the intraday. We're talking about trading the intraday levels. So, sorry here. Oh, okay. All right. Let's recalculate. Anyway, so what are the odds that you were able to profit off this movement to the upside or act quick enough? Well, I hope so. I mean, you have to have the guts and the glory, man, to take profit on big bullish candles like that if you're long. Whenever you see nice bullish candles like that, you don't want to go long. And for an opportunity to break that down, I actually want to talk about my ETH trade, right? Let's go talk about my ETH position, right? So I was actually short on Ethereum. I posted that last night. So let's go talk about last night. Let's go find the correct time. I'm going to pull open Discord here real quick. And I'm going to go to the members lounge. Sorry, a lot of chat in the members lounge. A lot to scroll through. Hold on. Let's middle click. Okay, now that was this morning. Sorry, guys. I want to get my timestamp correct. And 8:30. 8:30. So let's go look at, here's 8. $20.30. Okay. Trading a little bit of a different time frame. Obviously, I wasn't trading the 15-minute time frame. I was trading the hourly. So 8:13. Okay. Yeah, this is correct. So anyway, so 8:30. Why? Because I saw a high volatile. To be honest with you, is the 1-minute chart, because that's typically what I have BitMEX on at all times. Morning. Here we go. So this candle right here, yeah, on the 1-minute chart. So I saw a pretty massive run up, right? I saw a pretty massive run up, and I shorted on this candle right here. Why? Because I'm taking the gall to short on a bullish maneuver to the upside, right? Because I have a fundamental bearish bias. For the majority of the day, that trade did not work out well for me, right? It was underwater for the majority of the trade. Price comes over here, moves pretty strongly against me. And then we get to, what happened over here. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent about this. Had I had my internet on, there is a potential that I might have done something silly. Most likely not, to be honest with you. You know, price moving up pretty volatilely. You're expecting a very violent move down, especially because we were hitting resistance. But regardless, we'll never know because I did not have access to the internet when this maneuver happened. Just recently got access back to the internet. Do get the 1 minute sell signal there. That's not super indicative of anything. But anyways, the point that I want to make is that about the time that I got access to the internet, this happened right here. This maneuver happened right here. And when I saw this candle, I market bought. I was able to get out of my position at a, let's go back over here, at a 2.62% profit that I had to hold throughout the day. Not my best trade, completely honest about that, but it ended up working out well because I had the foresight to take profit on a big bearish candlestick, right? And waiting for the market to shake itself out in consolidation before I enter into my next position. So let's go back to XBT because I do want to continue that example. So anyways, we talked about the 15-minute time transformation buy signal. We talked about how the correct trade, Ichimoku-wise, was looking for those short entries. And actually, I mean, depending on how you're trading the intraday ranges, you had multiple good trades, right? You had almost 2% trades. You had, you know, your first one right here. You had a 1.74% opportunity right there. And again, look at that level of support that we have labeled right there. I mean, that level of support has worked really well. You know, 51.45, which we've had on the chart for quite a while. Now, price breaking above the cloud, price moving up, you do get that 15-minute sell signal, giving you the opportunity to take advantage of that and be out of the trade, potentially be in a short as well. Now, that's how you could have utilized Ichimoku and time transformation in conjunction to capture that movement. As you can see right here, Wada-Atar also goes bullish and confirms a trade. So here's that time transformation trade again. Here we have time transformation crossing above the zero line right here. And we have Wada-Atar confirming a trending trade as well. And then you get that nice sell signal on this candle from the 15-minute time transformation telling you to be out of the trade. So that would have given you an entry on this candle right here and a sell right there. So that was a nice, clean, quick 2%, 2.17%. So good trade for anybody who was able to take that and trading the lower time frames as well. Okay, so we're about to zoom out and look at the higher time frames and look at what we're looking at really for the future and what I'm expecting. But while we're here on the lower time frames, let's point out some critical things, right? Let's point out some key things, because I do want to make the bullish scenario here, right? The bullish scenario, let's start with that. Let's start with the bullish scenario, and then we can go to the higher time frames to build the bearish scenario, and maybe add to the bullish scenario as well. The bullish scenario is that price action-wise, let's get rid of Ichimoku here and just look at price, is that we have consistent lows at 51.45, where our stop loss is going to be placed directly below that level. We had a nice spike to the upside. We had a supremely volatile movement to the downside and cleared out all the liquidity from 51.45, below 51.45. We can see that that was... Okay. This is definitely weird. Sorry, let's save this and refresh my page, because sometimes those labels get whack-a-noodle. Thank you, sir. There, that's much better. Okay. The bullish scenario is that we've taken all the liquidity below those lows. We can see that price did get bought back up, like it has been getting bought up on every dip. That overall, let's see here, that the daily, I guess the daily would be good now because the 15-minute is actually below there, is that the daily has not closed below the descending trend line. In fact, you know, price went briefly below the ascending trend line on a daily basis and then popped back up. Things that I do want to keep you in conjunction with. We did have the daily confirmed sell signal yesterday, right? Confirmed daily sell signal, putting a lot of people in position and a volatile movement to the upside to tap against significant resistance. Again, if you guys recall, the area that I'm going to get into here on the higher time frames, that roughly the $5,500 level, which we rejected cleanly from. An interesting thing to note is that had you been paying attention to the Tensor Charts order books, you would have seen over the course of the morning that $10 million ask bid spoofing the market over and over and over and over and over. So there was a $10 million order that just kept popping on and off on the ask side. So that was something interesting. I should have pointed it out again. Today was a little bit, man, because of MediaCom coming and everything. But anyways, that $10 million order book spoofing. I'm not exactly sure where I wanted to go with that. Just, kind of a sign when you see significant ask side spoofing. Wherever you see spoofing, there you can build a bias that price is likely to move in that direction. Now, whether that's a sustained movement or a stop loss hunter or grab for liquidity or just a volatile market maker maneuver is another thing. The other thing that I did want to point out, in the order books is that you could see if you do pay attention to the Tensor Charts order books right here, you can see that the larger orders are brighter red. So we had that order spoofing around that $5,300 area, and then that order was finally significantly pulled for a long period of time. The reason that occurred is that allowed resting bids to be filled. Okay, so that was market suppression. Having that bid, so that there's a couple elements to it. You're having a large ask order, a large sell order flash on and off on the markets. That is a signal to bots. It's mostly bots. People think that, for some reason that's there to like fake out order book traders. The 98% of order book traders are bots. Okay. Most bots do not trade technical indicators. Most bots trade OHLC data and order book information. They trade, deviations, standard deviations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, we saw that order book spoofing at 5,300. That order was pulled, and where did that order go to, and where did it rest? 5,500. 5,500 is where it went to and sat and didn't move. I was noticing that right before I lost my internet. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, and to be honest with you, Tensor Charts as well, just because I've traded for so long, I have a good beat on this data. Do I utilize this for day-to-day trading? Not so much, honestly, because it's not really my jam, man. It's something that I need to get better at. I'm very comfortable in what I do. I mostly use TradingView. I mostly use technical indicators and the strategy that I've built over a long period of time. This is great data, though. This is great data. And I am looking, this is, if there's anything that I'm actively looking at incorporating more into my elements of analysis, it is Tensor Charts. So for the most part, I look on here to see where large orders are, and then I do like to keep my eye on where those large orders are to see if they're going to be spoofing or to see if they're legitimate. The other great thing, obviously, is the BitMEX stats to look at open interest. But again, be careful with open interest. Be careful with open value. Be careful with these things. Sometimes they can give you great leads and great indications, and there are good beads on the market. But again, you want to qualify this data with technical analysis, right? Because this is not, I would say, technical analysis. This is sentiment analysis. So, all right, man. Let's get back over here to the charts. So we'll see what happens in relation to, as we can see right now, price has wicked down below the Kumo cloud, grabbed liquidity. We did close above the cloud, have not closed back below the 15-minute cloud. That does mean, technically, from Ichimoku's strategy, that we are bullish and that this was an opportunity to buy a dip. We do have overhead resistance. We did have that bearish TK cross there near the top. We haven't had a bullish TK cross yet, and we do have that overlying resistance around 5,300 again. So actually the 15-minute TKs are coming in around 52.91. If we went back to that Tensor Charts and looked, let's go back to the charts here on Tensor Charts actually. And let's see where the order book is sitting at. This is going to take a little while to load. 5,300. You have a $6.235 million order there. We'll see if it gets pulled. We'll see if it gets filled, but that is the more significant one. Let's see here. Where is... down at 5,100 would be the most significant buy order right now. And then above that, you're looking at really not a whole lot above that. So that again, that could be a case for the bulls. If the order at if the $6.6 million order at 5,300 is not allowed to get eaten into and gets pulled, you can see that the ask side is actually not that deep. It's actually not that deep. So I'm always cognizant because, again, it's not always just about, I know exactly what the market's going to do at all times. Am I a profitable trader? Yes. Can I teach you how to build a profitable strategy? Yes. But when it comes down to any individual particular market movement, you're just relying on your strategy. So I'm always cognizant to attempt to paint both sides of the argument, even though, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I do have a short order in. See how that plays out. The short order is not something that I'm going to be willing to lose money on. So, okay, what else do I want to go over with you guys? I think now we need to go to the higher time frame so I can talk about critical levels coming up for Bitcoin's price action. Okay. Before we do that, if you guys will excuse me for just a minute, I've been talking a lot. I've been talking for like an hour, and my throat's really dry, so I need to go grab some water. This is a good opportunity to take a little bit of a break before we take a deeper dive into the higher time frames, because as I said, we're going to be doing this together because I do need to update my charts because that movement has moved our indicators a little bit. So we need to take advantage of that and move the areas that we're looking at. So this will be a good update from the critical levels that we were looking at yesterday. And it's going to be nice because normally I do this like ass crack of dawn and nobody's around but me. It's just me and, you know, my Google Mini. So it'll be nice to do it kind of live on air. So apologize for a little bit of off today. And again, I'm sorry guys for, you know, moving the show back multiple times. I am sorry for that. Just things came up, man. I'm sorry. First off, we had the internet go off and then I had an appointment with my daughter. So all right, so I'm going to take a brief break. If you guys want to help us out, man, there's not a sale on the merch, but if you guys do want to help keep the lights on around here, you can go over to cryptocurrency.com/merch. And you can pick up a Cracking Cryptocurrency t-shirt or coffee mug, which you're going to see me busting my coffee out of here in just a little bit. I have been told by the scientists that drinking your morning or afternoon or evening coffee or alcoholic beverage of choice out of our mugs will improve the efficacy of your trading by about 80% and increase your personal attractiveness by about 90%, man. So again, and if you guys would like to help us out in a more philanthropist way, you guys can go to topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Give us an upvote, pushes our Discord server up the ranks. We highly appreciate that as well. We went from rank 300 to rank 7, so awesome. Really appreciate the help and support there, guys. That's topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com. I'll be back in just a few minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Oh, you guys can see the bat cave. Oh no. Welcome to my life. Anyways, thanks for hanging in there with me, guys, and we're back. Thank you so much to anybody who went and upvoted us on Top G. I highly appreciate that. And if you picked up some merch, I think that your trading efficacy, if the scientists are correct, man, and they're right, 20% of the time, they're right every time. So anyways, let's get back over here into the charts. We're going to take this brief opportunity to scroll up and see what's going on with Ron Legato says, is there a foot tapping emoji? Now it says live. Sorry about that, man. All right, let's go through the comments here. Deetsia Yella, hey, good to see you. Seth Shepard says, fellow Hawkeye, what's going on, man? Jasper says, nah, I'm late, drunk already. Brian Heredia, hey, new to the channel, great content. Thank you so much, man. Glad to see you here. Podnuts, hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you, dear Lord. Oh, man, it is so good to see you in the chat. Yes, totally different layout. We did do some upgrades. Thanks, Scott. I mean, he did all of this, man. He did all this, all that. Dr. Faz, what's going on, my good friend? Big shout out to Pylai. Pylai doing a very good job. QC, Turd Ferguson, good to see you guys on here. Ninja Sloth, good. All the regulars, man. All the guys in the premium group. Good to see you guys. Bad indicators is like drinking and driving. Matt says, yo, Justin started a new Deribit account, gained 30% of that new account today. Nice, man. S. Malal says, Justin, could you share your Ichimoku settings? Mine look very different with the TradingView defaults. Yeah, so a question that I was asked is, Justin, why can't we find your Ichimoku indicator? You can if you go to tv.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That's a subdomain. It'll take you right to our TradingView account, and you can just click on scripts and use my Ichimoku. But if you click on indicators and strategies, you can type in cracking crypto. Aha! Cracking crypto. You don't even got to type the whole thing. Cracking crypto. And it's right there. Cracking cryptocurrency Ichimoku 0.1 by Cracking Crypto. 95 likes. Go ahead and smash up the old like button on that. I'd appreciate that. Makes TradingView much more willing to do my bidding. Because again, TradingView has this wonderful feature where if you publish a title with a version number in it, and then you push further updates to that, the question that I get all the time is, hey man, can I get access to that 0.1.2, dude? And I'm like, you've got the right one. The script titled 0.1.1 has all the updates. We're actually at 0.1.4 now. So if you have if you're a premium member and you do have time transformation, the correct one that you want is 0.1.1. In fact, it's the only one available if you go to, I believe, if you just type in time transformation. You want time transformation the 0.1.1. That's the correct version, right? That's the updated one. The one that's titled, and I know this is dumb, but again, this is TradingView. The one titled 0.1.2 was a beta test for the beta testers to work out any bugs and kinks. So then I pushed the update to the one titled 0.1.1. Same with not same with anything, because Quadrigo I haven't updated yet because there's really no reason to update it unless I find some better way to calculate ATR. But I can't think of anyone. Maybe I'll rewrite the code just fun, but whatever. Any hoosers. If we're going to go sideways now for a while, I wonder what alts will do. So that is originally what I wanted to talk about, right? Because yesterday, everybody was panic selling their alts. And what did we see over the course of the day? Just a beautiful green day in the market, man. We saw alts bouncing back. And then profit taking, Bitcoin profit taking, Ethereum profit taking, altcoins profit taking. So I will be interested to see what they do over the next few hours. I would expect after the push down, always when there's a volatile move down, there's always scalping opportunities to the upside, man. All you have to do is have the cojones to buy on a huge big bearish candle. You have to have proper position sizing, because again, it's not something we're going to get rich, but there's always counter trading scalping opportunities, especially in cryptocurrency. That's why I am a reversal trader in cryptocurrency, and only in cryptocurrency, in Forex, and traditional equities. I was only ever, well, that's not true, because I've tried every different trading strategy. Traded so many strategies over the years. But if you had to put a gun to my head and tell me that, Justin, you've got to trade Apple stock, Justin, you have to trade the British euro, you have to trade the pound euro, I would only ever trade with a trend trading strategy, and I would only ever trade one time frame. So watching, sorry, you guys can't see very well, so let me drag this over to current price. Price rejecting from the TK. So we've got a cluster of the Tenkan and the Kijun here on the 15-minute chart. Let's go to the hourly and see what price is doing. Price as well. So on the large dump candle, we can see that price did close above the T and the K. Ryan Martin, thanks so much for the sub. I missed somebody else as well. I apologize. I missed a couple people. Let's see here. Vineet Tomar, the dude 7471, and Ryan Martin, thanks so much for the subs on YouTube. Highly appreciated, guys. Welcome to the community. If anybody wants to make me smile a little bit more, if you want to go over to twitch.tv, or it's twitch.crackingcryptocurrency.com, twitch.crackingcryptocurrency.com, right? Yes. And give us a follow, give us a subscription on Twitch. Highly appreciate that, man. Really looking forward to the fun things that I can do with Twitch. Let's see here. Oh, so man, I'm sorry, I completely blew over your question, dude. But the settings are, yeah, here's Ichimoku. Sorry. So the settings are, my Tenkan is 20, my Kijun is 60, my Senku Span length is 120, and my displacement is 30. So 20, 60, 30, 120, or 20, 60, 120, 30, depending on how you do it. I believe in the regular Ichimoku, let's pull open the TradingView default Ichimoku. I know the default settings are 9 and 26. Not a big fan of those. Oh, shoot. Reset settings. 9. Okay, so here, what you're wanting, the way you would set this up if you wanted to put the correct, in my opinion, cryptocurrency settings under the default, is you would want to put in 20 would be your conversion line. The conversion line is the Tenkan-san. 60 would be your baseline, which is the same thing as your Kijun. Your lagging span 2 periods is your Senku Span A length, or your Senku Span length, which is 120. Keep in mind your Senku Span B is going to be the average of your conversion and your baseline and your Tenkan and your Kijun. So that's the difference between Ichimoku, which uses a Donchian algorithm, right, to take the average of price, and a moving average, which takes the average closings of price, right? So it's going to add up the closing level. So with a moving average, if you have 10 candles, it's going to add up the value of all 10 candles and divide them by 10. That's going to be your moving average, right? With Ichimoku, it's going to take, so for your conversion line, for your Tenkan, you have a 20 candle look back period. So it's going to take the last 20 candles. It's going to take the true high and the true low, and whatever the mean is of that, whatever the average is of that, is going to be your level, is going to be where your Tenkan's at. And due to that, that's why I like Ichimoku so much, because if you ask any trader out there, most algorithmic traders that I know trade a reversion to the mean strategy, right? They trade a reversion to the mean strategy, and that's a very profitable strategy. So I utilize kind of my idea behind Ichimoku, or why I like Ichimoku so much, is not only because I've noticed that it works really well, just practically, it makes me money, but it's following the same concepts of reversion to the mean that I know work well for a lot of other traders as well, even though I don't directly utilize it in that fashion. So anyways, nice things about, again, the Ichimoku's free, so this is, I'm not shilling, but I'm just saying the reason that I made my indicator in the first place was because my indicator has alerts. It will plot with color bar changes, TK crosses, and Kumo Cloud breakouts and breakdowns. So there's that. Does Rosetta Stone make a trader language lesson? It just takes some time, man. What the hell is Watatar? It's actually Wata-atar. So that's another indicator that I have on my TradingView as well. I didn't design Wata-atar, and nor can I take the credit for this for actually coding it into TradingView. All I did was I was talking about Wata-atar one day on the stream and talking about how I like to use it, and then somebody said, hey man, this doesn't work on altcoins, and then I noticed it. There's a line of code in there that messed with the resolution. I removed that line of code and published a version that you can utilize with altcoins. So if you want to add that to your TradingView template, you just type in WADDAH, W-A-D-D-A-H. And you will see the full credit goes to Lazy Bear for the gentleman who designed this indicator. His name is Wata-atar. So he was I know that this is going to be that people are like, oh, you use the word Arab. He's Middle Eastern. He was a Middle Eastern trader. He could be Indian. He could be Arab. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, he created this indicator for Forex. Lazy Bear ported this indicator over for TradingView, which you can utilize on anything. And then I made it specifically modified for altcoins, right? It works, the standard Wata-atar works okay on USD pairs. It has some problems on some USDT pairs, but it's going to work pretty well, pretty fine. But I just took out that line of code so that it works well on altcoins. It has an issue with low sat coins. So I could make a more elegant solution. I just haven't had time to do it yet. But anyways, if you just search for WADDAH, W-A-D-D-A-H, they will all pop up. The Lazy Bear version and the Kraken cryptocurrency version. These are all okay, but Lazy Bear has the best one. So, and I modified Lazy Bear's. So, anyways, Seth Shepard, thank you, man. You want to DM me in the Discord, man? I'd be happy to chat with you, man. Mbate, getting back to him, says new strat. Oh, Dr. Faz, man. I can't believe that you're not wrenched yet, dude. Welcome to the team. Thank you, Saqib. I highly appreciate that, man. Well, at the time. I'm Spinby. Thank you so much, man. I highly appreciate that. Ian at Valentine says, I see on the MetaTrader 4 chart without week a big difference than TradingView. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you're more specific about what the difference is that you see, that'd be great. If you're talking about the indicator, it's most likely our indicator settings. MetaTrader 4 is okay, but it's old, man. It's thing's a dinosaur. Thank you, Andrew Adams. I appreciate that, man. Do I think BIT will reject off the 50 moving average on the weekly? So I don't, sorry, there's a lot going on here. I don't have the 50 moving average on my chart. I don't typically use moving averages. I do have the 55 exponential moving average and the 100 exponential moving average, and we are currently trading above both of those on the weekly. We've got a bit of time for the weekly, and the current weekly candle it's struggling, man. It's struggling. We'll see how price shakes out, man. Okay, we're about to go to the higher time frames and actually talk about all that wonderful stuff because, again, like I said, we do have to move some stuff around. I just wanted to get to the chat and see if I missed anything. All right, so we'll just scroll all the way down. You definitely deserve a wrench. He says, I'm actually a highly irresponsible person, meaning with this wrench, I will wreak havoc. And Brian Holm, thank you, man. Antonio Katsarov, what's my opinion on Dragon Chain? Trash. That is, again, okay, so that's my initial instinct. Everything that I know and have heard about Dragon Chain, it sounds like when Wrench, blockchain gains, you're in there, bro. Everything, so Dragon Chain was one of those coins that I heard about back in 2017, and that I was interested in accumulating a position in. Because of the information that came out about it. I never did, because obviously what happened toward the end of December and throughout February happened, and we ended up exiting most of our positions, and then just, playing the bear market on the way down. But since then, Dragon Chain's pretty much died as far as I'm aware. It just hasn't done anything well. So the last that I was aware of, Dragon Chain was basically I don't want to say it's a scam project, but it's just something that never went anywhere, right? I don't know if they're still actively developing. So, I don't like talking about things that I don't know very well. My initial instinct would be like scam, trash, garbage. But again, I want to qualify that with I don't exactly know what I'm talking about. I haven't done the fundamental research that I have done on other projects that I actually am interested in accumulating position sizes over for the long term. So, anywho, okay, so Bitcoin moving a little bit sideways in a descending pattern. We have not yet broken the 15-minute cloud yet. We've pierced below it. We have not, so that means we haven't broken any cloud yet. Looking to close the hourly below the TK. We're about to get that bearish TK cross as well after a brief pop-up. Let's start with the weekly and work our way down. And for this, we're actually going to do Bitstamp. We're going to go move our levels around on Bitstamp because, as you guys know, if you guys watched the stream yesterday, that's why I had those orders at 53.25 and 53.75. BTC USD. A lot going on here. Okay, so here's my long-term setup, guys. So let's just refresh and talk about. Oh, you know what? It's in this. Even though I have sharing. Eli, man, thank you so much for the $10, my good dude. I think you're gonna overtake Wally, dude. You're gonna overtake Wally. But thank you so much for the $10, my friend. He says, I bought into Verge at around 185 sats. Do you think I should hold on for dear life or ride with Bitcoin? Thanks, my man Justin, in this awesome chat group. Thank you, man. Jack Martin says, I tried buying some DMT, but they ripped me off. Can you get me my BTC back? Probably not, man. But one more comment like that, and you're gonna go bye-bye. Don't allow profanity or any kind of obscenity in the chat. You guys can get wild and crazy, but that's the difference. Pengs1 on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, you can. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, man, but you can hit me up in the Discord. I'm sure Scott will drop the link. It's discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. I'm right at the top as an administrator. I'm pretty hard to miss. Anybody that's got any questions, you can always DM me. I try to respond to all DMs within 48 hours. Sometimes I miss stuff. I apologize, man. I get dozens and dozens and dozens of DMs every day. So I do my best to try to respond to everything within 48 hours. But DM it. Let's see here. Thanks, blockchain. I appreciate that, man. Okay. Verge. Right. Sorry, man. Let's go look at Verge. What happened to Verge? So where were we at yesterday? So I'm trying to recall exactly what we had said yesterday. Yesterday I had said, and kind of my opinion still stands, man. Here's what's going on with the daily, man. Again, the daily's about to close in about 2 hours. So what I had said yesterday was, okay, look, you had a nice spike to the upside. We'll go some higher time frames here as well. Sorry, let's throw on the tradition. And let's get that Ichimoku back on. So here's the daily Ichimoku. You can see that you still have a bullish TK cross, right? The Tenkan is still above the Kijun. That's bullish. You have price coming back down after a breakout to retest the Kumo cloud, the upper boundary, the Senku span B, because B is above A. So when B is... Sorry, man, I get into some like nerd algorithm stuff here. But when the Senku span A, right, is a variable that you can set, right? It is the average, right? Just like it's all Donchian, right? So the Tenkan is the mean, it's the mean price of the last 20 bars, right? So the middle of the, so you have the true high of the last 20 bars and the true low of the last 20 bars, whatever the middle is, whatever the average of that is, the middle of that, that's where the Tenkan sits. Kijun, same thing, last 60 bars. Senku span B, or the first boundary, it's actually the second boundary, but of the Kumo cloud is the last 120 days, right? You can set it to wherever you want. But those are the settings that I use for cryptocurrency. When the average, okay, Senku span B, Senku span A, my bad, I apologize. Senku span A is the is a variable that you can set, okay, the last 120 days. Senku span B is the average of the Tenkan and the Kijun, okay? So it's same method, you know, wherever the Tenkan is, wherever the Kijun is, what is the middle price? That's where Senku span A is. And then it's displaced, it's pushed forward 30 bars, okay? Traditional Ichimoku is 26, but I use 30. That's just some nerd algorithm. When Senku span B, so when the average of the Tenkan and the Kijun are greater than the average of price over the last 120 days, that's bearish, right? And the cloud is red. When Senku span A, so when long-term price, so that's long-term price is higher than short-term price, right? That means just on average, price is bearish. Price is moving down because the longer-term price is higher than the shorter-term price. When it flips, when shorter-term price is above longer-term price, it means that the asset is appreciating. The asset's going up because the asset is trading higher than it was on average over the last 120 days, whatever that mean is, right? A moving average will actually give you the average. An Ichimoku will actually give you levels. So moving averages can be very helpful, obviously, for identifying trends. Ichimoku, I think, is better for giving you signals. Okay, and as a trader, I don't really care about what I know. Like, you know, if you gave me the option of, hey, check it out, man. Sorry, hold on, let me. When you if you gave me the option of being able to come on the show every day and accurately predict where the market would be heading, that's analysis, and then said that, yeah, but you're going to have a bad strategy for entering and exiting, so you're not going to be able to do a lot with that information. You know, what is more important to you? Or if you said, hey, man, you're going to have to come on the show every day and be a real genuine human being that really tells people like what trading is like, and that at the end of the day, your analysis is worth pretty much as good as your average, and your strategy is really what's most important, how you enter and exit, you know, how you're able to take advantage. Nick, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Welcome to the family. How you're able to take advantage of that information is far more important than the information itself, for example. So the moving average is pretty good for analysis. It can give you, and again, there are higher time frame levels of the moving averages that are going to give you excellent entries and exits. But Ichimoku, in my experience, gives really good signals, right? Gives really good signals, and that's what's important, right? That's what's important for an if this then that strategy, because it gives signals, very clear signals that are objective, and they're good. On average, they're good. A lot better than a lot of other stuff out there. So I digress. So what are we going on with Verge? We talked yesterday about how that big volatile movement to the downside did represent, in my opinion, an opportunity to buy dips. So far, price is still above the cloud. I see the daily flirting with looking to close. Price is still, and what did I say here? I talked about, I drew this initiation level, so this must have been what I was talking about yesterday. I would have said 182 would represent my stop. So you said you bought in at an average of 185, okay? You bought in at an average of 185. Okay, so basically you're in a position where, you're, okay, so you're wondering, should I just take profits now or should I take a loss? Oh, gotta take this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, again, gotta have a good relationship with your family, guys. So, I'm like, I'm doing my show. They're like, what? All right, bye. Tom Thogles, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. I highly appreciate that. Okay, so you're in a situation right now where you're slightly above your entry. Jerry Pack, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube as well. You're in a situation right now where you're about 2% up and you're asking yourself, should I take profits or should I let this ride? Okay, what would I do in this situation? I would look at my original thesis. I would ask myself, why did I buy Verge in the first place? What are my projected take profit levels? And if I didn't have that information, looking at the chart right now, would I want to be shorting Verge or would I want to be buying Verge? Okay, and again, if I give you, I'm not going to tell you what to do, man. I'm just going to give you my best opinion. Okay, if I'm looking at the chart right now, and if you gave me the option of going long on Verge right now or going short on Verge right now, I would go long. I'll tell you why. You have the TK, you have a bullish TK cross, you have the Fisher above the zero line, you have Wada Atar trading just a little bit above the explosion level, but hasn't really reverted to bearish yet. If we look at a little bit of a higher time frame, let's look at that weekly, okay? Look at that long period of consolidation, right? Prices moved roughly down, roughly moved up. When every other coin has really popped off, and Verge is one of those that, again, don't kind of give it up. And you look at that rising volume, right? Look at what it's are, and look at that rising volume on average, right? That's a good thing to see. I think that this does most likely represent accumulation. We do have significant overhead resistance at 233. And again, I've kind of charted this higher time frame level out because on the weekly level, we only have the weekly Kijun coming in. That's up here. So this represents neutral, not in position. Most likely anything below this would represent an opportunity to buy without a significant change in market structure. So let's go to that 3-day. The 3-day as well, we have price approaching the vicinity of the cloud. If we look forward into the future, wow, that cloud just like goes on. No, it doesn't. It won't go on forever. So let's adjust this. Okay. The future cloud is, I'd say it's stabilized. It's flat. It has not moved down at all. As the cloud continues to move down, price is continually getting more bearish, but we do see the cloud flattening out. Does that mean that this thing is going to make a massive maneuver right now? No, it doesn't. But if we look closely at the 3-day, we can also see it didn't happen yesterday. We talked about this yesterday. We're looking for a potential 3-day Tenkan Kijun cross, okay? I do have this area drawn on the chart. What are those levels? 180 to 178 represented buying opportunities for me on a wick to the downside. But as we can see as well on the 3-day, the 3-day Tenkan and the 3-day Kijun would have obviously represented buying opportunities as well. As you can see down here, price came down to the 3-day Kijun and is currently holding that level, man. Still hasn't closed the 3-day below the Kijun and wick down to the 3-day Tenkan. Lot of not bad. It's not a bad looking chart, man, especially after, look, you have consistent resistance, price breaks and price is pulling back on the daily and testing that area as confirmed support. And what happens after you break out, you pull back and you confirm support, typically you go higher. So in your position right now, I would say, depending on what you have lined up against depending on what you have down the road, because is there an opportunity cost to sitting in a shitcoin? So what you could do, right? I'll give you an idea. What you could do is, since you are in profit, right? You could take 50% of your profit off of the table, take 2% off 50% of your position. And then you could say to yourself, okay, listen, if the daily closes below that key June, I'm going to take a loss, and that's going to make the trade overall a break even. If price closes within 2% of your average entry. So if your average entry was 185 and price closes within, I'd say 180, 181. You won't have made any money, but you won't have lost any money, right? Because you're going to take 50% profit at 2%, and you're going to take a 2% loss on 50%, right? But that allows you in the short term, let's assume the best case scenario. Okay, let's assume price does appreciate, right, significantly. That will reduce your opportunity loss, because now you can do something else with that 50% that's sitting in Verge. You can go invest it in something else, or go trade something else, or you can move into Tether, or whatever you'd like to do, right? And you still have a good position size with half of your positions should Verge take off like a light socket, man. Again, if Bitcoin goes sideways here, alts are going to bounce back, man. I'm still fundamentally bullish on alts right now. So, and looking at Verge, I mean, all I can do is look at the chart in front of me. Let's go see. I'll do my best. Do my best to look at some data metrics here, man. Let's go look at the market depth ratio. The market depth ratio is very bullish. It's 53.41% bullish. Nearest 1% of price. Nearest 2% of price, it's bullish. Nearest 5% of price, it's bullish. Nearest 10% of price, it's bullish. Getting accumulated, man. Yeah, so there was a ton of selling right here. Right at this bottom that price is currently at on the hourly chart. Brief resurgence, test, a little bit of a stop loss hunt right here, and price has not gone below that. So in this vicinity, there's obviously clearly a very interested buyer, because if you have that much selling that occurs right there, I mean, how much was sold? Like that's 1,800. If we go down and look at significant trades, 1835, 1836, about what, 27 Bitcoin worth of Verge was sold in those 2 hours, and price didn't move an inch. And then whoever bought there is defending that level. And that's 185. So is that, Eli, are you a whale like that, bro? Scooping it up. And you can see that the order book is very bearish right now. A ton of people trying to sell. And price isn't really doing anything, man. It's getting bought up. So I would say that as long as the daily is above the key June, pretty good, man. The key June is coming in at 185. So, you could set, take 50% of your profit off the table, adjust your stop loss to break even with a soft stop loss. So say if the daily closes below 185, I'll be out of the trade. That's probably what I do, man. That's what I do in your position. And I'll give you an idea for a take profit target. 201. 201 would be decent, conservatively. On a higher time frame perspective, you're looking for a retest of that 3-day Kumo cloud. So that's giving you, 201 to 212. Pilot, what's going on, man? BTC Bull, hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you on Twitch, man. Thanks for keeping it popping over there, my good friend. Pilot as well. Let's throw them hands up, UFG Kirk style, man. All right. Thank you again for the $10, Eli. I appreciate it, man. All right, 5:30. All right, last 30 minutes, guys. We are going to break down those higher time frame levels. Make sure. Okay, so it must be on this one. Sorry, guys. Cold. And the weather today is like... All right, no, that's not what I wanted. We'll just get back to my LTF scan over here. Boom. Okay, cool. All right, good. Happened to my... Did I do it over here? Sorry, this is very unprofessional. But I did, I had updated all my levels yesterday. And I've gone AWOL. Maybe I didn't save the chart. Oh, well, I'll fix it tonight. But anyways, that's not the important thing, because we're going to do this together anyway, so what does it matter? So we get to draw them all over again. So these levels don't get moved, though. These levels don't get moved because these are higher time frame levels of support and resistance, right? So for those of you who haven't seen this, for those of you who might be new to the channel, anyways, this is the Bitstamp chart. This is where we do our long-term analysis on. So anyways, we do have some resistance levels that I think are critical and key. So 5780, 6153, those represent the zone, the last zone that I'm looking to be taking profit. That zone around 5780 represents the last zone that I'll be looking to take profit. A lot of people screaming for that $5,800 level. Could we see it? Absolutely, we could see it. That would be the last level that I would be looking to take profit on any leveraged long position, and actually most likely. I haven't fully committed to this yet because part of me wants to just say, hey, I'm pretty confident that even though we are going to see a dip back down to 3,000 to 4,000, we'll just accumulate and we'll stay out of tether for now. Since given it more thought, it does not seem that that's probably the best case scenario. So getting that bearish reaction from that 5780 level, I most likely will move back into tether before we move back down to 3,000 to 4,000 because I do think that we retest that area. I do think this is the first significant rally, okay, of the bear market. It's not likely that we go full parabolic from here. And it's just, listen, I get it. It's exciting. I love Bitcoin, man. No, I'm sitting in spot Bitcoin, right? I have not sold any Bitcoin spot. No tether. I love, please. It's very nice that my spot bags continue to be pumped. And I've been able to hedge any losses on BitMEX that way. Which there have been 3. So, what's the point I want to make here? Anyways, 5780 represents the last area that I'd be looking to take profit off any long position. And then once we enter that realm between 5780 and 6153, that's when I begin to look for a short. We can see that this level of 5979 has not done a whole lot. Neither is 4606, but I don't think they're levels to disrespect. I'm not going to remove them from my chart. Why? Because they're important horizontals during a previous level of consolidation. Right here, we have previous levels of consolidation, and you do have my lower areas for Bitcoin's price to go. Should we go below 3,000? Do I think we go below 3,000 on a sustained basis? No, I do not. I have no opinion. It's not that I have no opinion. It's just that, the low of this weekly candle, So 3122 may represent the bottom. It might not, guys. It may represent the bottom. It might not. There's no way to know. And anybody that focuses on that as their, it's wonderful to speculate upon. And the individuals that are, but the individuals who are on Twitter, you're seeing the bottom is in. There's no way we're going lower. The bottom's not in. We're of course going lower. Completely unproductive. Completely unproductive. And at the end of the day, doesn't matter, right? You can make money going up. You can make money going down. There's always going to be opportunities to make money in a market, whether it's bullish or bearish. Obviously, for most retail investors or passive investors, they're going to be able to make money much more easily when it's going up. You do have to be a little bit more nuanced and strategic to make money when the market is going down. And I've been very thankful for the bear market of 2018, 2019, because it has made me a better trader. It's made me a better trader. Every opportunity that I have to enhance my skills and have to kind of be under the gun and have a lot of pressure, it always makes you a better trader. And anyways, I digress. I do want to, I will contend with the argument. So somebody sent me a chart and they're like, look, man, Bitcoin is just making a lower high, or lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I disagree with that. Why? Because to understand, like, the word high or low, like, you have to meet certain qualifications to be a low or high, right? So the actual qualifications for a low or high is a high. So a true high is a high with two lower highs on either side. A true low is a low with two higher lows on either side, right? That's a low, all right? That's a confirmed low. This is a high, okay? This is a high. This candle right here. This is a high because it is a high with two lower highs and price moves down. This is a low because it's a low with two higher lows on either side. So you can't just say, bruh. And, this never worked in the first place, but maybe let's try it. Let's try this. Try this. All right, that doesn't really work either. You can't just say, you can't ignore this. You can't ignore this behavior of price activity and say that this is just another lower high. This is, well, we don't have a high yet because, again, what does a high have to be? A high has to be a high with two lower highs on each side. We don't have one of those yet. And again, the higher the time frame, the more accurate that you're going to have. You can use this on lower time frames as well, looking for swing failure patterns. Swing failure patterns are one of the best chart patterns to trade, much better than wedges or triangles, such nonsense. Even though we will plot them on the chart because sometimes 90% or 60% of the time they work every time, It's one of those things. What happened? Oh, there it is. Dima, what's going on, man? I'm sorry I missed you. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you in the Twitch, man. Much love, brothers. Much love. Make it rain, UFG Kirk style. Or actually, you know what? Let's get it. Let's scratch some records, Minx ATL style. I think I'm gonna. I think I'll raid you guys. I think I might try doing a raid today. Is she streaming? Oh, you know what? No, let's raid Pylai. Raid Pylai. Okay. We'll try to do that at the end, man. It's something I've never done, so if it screws up, let me know, but we'll see. Anyways, I digress. Is there background music? Or you want there to be background music? It is kind of an evening show, but anyways, we're getting toward the end. We got 20 minutes left and we got a lot to talk about. So let's start off on the weekly here. We've identified our critical horizontals, which is always the first step in my opinion. We've identified our critical horizontals, and now let's start throwing on our indicators so that we can identify our critical weekly levels. All right, so we have our weekly Kijun coming in up here, and when I'm done, I'm actually going to save this out. So maybe that's a better approach, but I'll just redo it. I'll just redo it tonight. So anyways, distance. And we'll Okay, so we have our weekly key June level. Now these levels are less applicable. We're going to get into the moving averages here in just a second, the exponentials that I think are more critical to the weekly time frame here on Bitstamp. But we do have our weekly key June coming in at 74.53. That's going to be an area to be looking for to take profit. I would say on the initial breakout, which I don't think we're going to be seeing anytime soon, that initial breakout above 61.53. So the first kind of profit taking area, waiting for a pullback. If you're short-term trading, again, that's not going to be my strategy. Once price is above 61.50, I'm not really looking to take profit until we get a strong weekly sell signal, and then I'll just be buying pullbacks because that is my long-term Bitcoin strategy. And then we have 42.79. That's interesting. So 42.79 acting as support now, because again, resistance turns into support. So one of the main schools of thought is that price can't go lower than 4,200. So we actually have that weekly Tenkan, which is going to be a significant level of support, coming in at 42.79. So that's interesting. Let's keep our eye on that as we move along. The reason, like I said, that we needed to redo this is because recent price action did move our indicators mainly on the 3-day chart. So there we have our weekly key June and our weekly Tenkan. Let's go to our EMAs. And figure out where we're at. So currently, we talked about this a little bit earlier. We talked about how the 100 exponential moving average on the weekly time frame was acting as closing basis resistance, and the 55 exponential moving average was acting as true high resistance. We can actually see that that has been violated now. We have traded above the weekly 55 exponential moving average, still unable to close above it. So we are flirting with closing the weekly above the 100 exponential moving average. Getting out of the way of the 55 exponential moving average would kind of relieve any and all resistance to price running up to that 57.80 level that I talked about earlier. Again, that level between 57.80 is pretty much the last area that I would be looking to take profit, or at least once you go above 57.80, let's put it this way. You put your stop loss at 57.80, right? You let price go above, you set your stop, you move your stop loss up to 57.80, move yourself into guaranteed profits, because I do believe that we reject very, very violently from that 61.50 area. Whether or not we make it up that high, we will see over the next few days of price action. Okay, so we also have, so I don't think there's any point in plotting out the resistance levels here, potentially. But for the sake of fun, we will, not for the sake of fun, but these will be useful coming forward, because again, how can I say that they're useful? But because I don't want 50 million lines on my chart, but we will talk about this 55 EMA right here. 55 EMA weekly is acting as current overhead resistance for closing basis. We will see if we close the weekly underneath the 100 exponential moving average, I would expect a significant pullback, at least to the $4,900 area. That's the very bullish case. That's the very bullish scenario. Whether we continue to get, whether we get a second leg up to 5,800, that would seem logical. That would seem reasonable. We do have other areas coming in that could be more dramatic pullback areas as well. For example, the $4,600 level or the $4,400 level, which is actually, so 4,450 is actually where our weekly 21 exponential moving averages is coming in, and our weekly 8 exponential moving average is coming in. And we are looking to get that 8 above the 21 cross. You guys know that typically when you do get a moving average cross that's bullish, you almost always pull back. And the 8 above the 21 is the first one that I look at as significant. The 8 above the 13, not so much. We can see here that it did herald a good movement. You can see how the 8 weekly exponential moving average acted as beautiful support, supporting price once we were actually able to close above it. That was really the first one right here. And then the 200 weekly exponential moving average obviously was suppressing price. So we have our weekly Tenkan coming in slightly above our 200 weekly exponential moving average, and we have my horizontal level of support and resistance, the ceiling that price was trading underneath at 4102. We have that coming in almost directly with the 200 exponential moving average. So this is going to become support now. Great. That is going to become support now, as well as 4606. Okay, so let me qualify this, because as we move forward, there's going to be more lines. And one thing that I want to tell you is, there's so many lines, of course one's going to hit. The point is not that I'm saying that price is going to stop at this level and not go any lower, or that price is going to stop at this level and not go any higher. These levels are on there to trade off of. So if you want to know where to set limit orders at, where there's likely to be large orders resting in the order books, and you can take advantage of wicks and then movements to the upside, whether or not. So that's the difference between taking advantage of volatility, and that's the difference between being a lazy trader and saying, well, I'm just going to buy and I'm just going to wait for price to go up. No, you need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. What levels are you going to be executing from? And these levels, as you can see, if you would have set a limit sell order at the 55 exponential moving average, you would have been able to take advantage of this movement right here. you would have been able to make 3% off that trade just by setting a limit sell order there and taking profit at some point. Similarly, setting buy orders, at the 8 exponential moving average when price broke above it, again, would have been a great strategy. You would have had a little bit of a drawdown, but price rebounded very quickly back up to your break even, and boom, there you go. Setting sell orders at the 200 exponential moving average while price was above it would have allowed you to profit off this movement right there. I mean, right there, setting a limit sell order at the 200 exponential moving average. You had what? You had maybe 1.5% of drawdown, and then almost 10% of profit. So the reason that these lines are on the chart is so that you have an idea where to be a passive buyer and a passive seller. The line is red, that's where you're a passive seller. The line is green, that's where you're a passive buyer. At least on the first pass through. Actually, this is weak. My bad. This is strong. Okay. So, secondary test, second weekly test of the 55 exponential moving average. Let's look for price to consolidate, and then we'll look for that movement. I would expect, the most logical thing that I'm looking for here is a pullback at least to the $4,900 area, and then logically a movement up to 5,800. But we'll see. We'll see. That's less important right now at this point in time. Okay, so we've got our weekly levels, and we'll also, sorry, I did leave the, as you guys know, if you guys regularly watch the show, typically the only EMAs that I'm interested in are going to be the 55, the 21, the 100, and the 200. Those are really the only ones that I do watch. You can do see that I have the 8 and the 13 on here because they are helpful at some points in time. But in general, I stick to the larger ones because they're more indicative of where price is likely to go. Sorry. And that's going to be, sorry, we need to look at these so we know our weekly 21. Now, that's where I'm going to stop. I'm probably not going to put as many lines on the chart for the for the 3-day. Because typically once we get below the weekly, I look more at the Ichimoku because I think it's more indicative, but we will take a look at the EMAs. So we are trading inside the 3-day cloud. We are trading inside the 3-day cloud, and if you want to be very, 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 very bullish, you would have a take profit target now of about $6,500 because that would be an edge-to-edge trade of the 3-day Kumo cloud. We need to close inside the cloud, though, guys. We need to close inside the cloud. So this candle just opened last night. We have 2 evenings before this candle closes, so I can't be calling for any overly optimistic edge-to-edge bullish trades until the 3-day candle closes inside of the Kumo cloud. Something to keep in mind. That is going to not gel necessarily with my fundamental analysis of where Bitcoin's price is headed. But again, you guys know that I'm always going to trade the technicals, and I'm very humble about my analysis. Sorry. Realize that I have to go through and make sure that days are clicked stuff. That is matrix with TradingView. It assumes that I don't want to see weekly levels on lower time frames, and why not? Because that's where I'm looking to initiate. We get there. What the heck? All right, great. Getting down to our 3-day, nothing mega indicative. I do see that we do have that horizontal level of support and resistance that I think the Tenkan is likely to catch up with on the 3-day, coming in at 46.06. So no significant changes to that yet. We do have that Kijun making a little bit of a lower move. Yesterday, the last 3-day candle, it was actually congruent with that 49.79. It has dropped down a little bit to 48.27. So since it's not really moving sideways, I can't really, since it's an active movement, I'm going to actually need to wait for another 3-day candle for it to actually go flat. So that means I can no longer utilize this as a level, and I'm going to have to default back to that horizontal level of 49.79. So no updates really to be made on the 3-day chart, except to just note that we are trading within the 3-day Kumo cloud. I'm not getting overly optimistic for that edge-to-edge trade yet. I do need to see price close within the Kumo cloud, and we'll revisit this in 2 evenings as far as that analysis is concerned. Getting back to the 3-day and throwing our EMAs on, we are going to be looking for confluence. All right, so quite similarly, so 55 EMA, we also have our 3-day 200 exponential moving average, and we have our 3-day 100 exponential moving average. So I would feel better about acting. I would feel better about acting on the $49.79, $4,900 level, which again, that 4,900, if I actually do backtrack now and think, that's going to be congruent with that 3-day key June as well. But what we can do is utilize this as a take profit level. Support week. Shoot, that's that 3-day 100 exponential moving average. So on the short trade, that could be a potential take profit level. It's coming in around 51.14. We can actually open up the data window, guys, and actually get these precise levels ourselves. So 51.10. 51.10 is where she sits, not a bit, all the way. Interesting. So we've got the 55 exponential moving average on the weekly and the 200 3-day exponential moving average acting as overhead resistance. You can also notice the equidistant highs. So this is something that you want to be on the lookout for, is liquidity grabs to the upside. Whenever you have equal highs, especially the higher the time frame, the better the signal. You have equal highs, and then you have a volatile movement above to clear stop losses in the liquidity trap there, and then price typically moves the opposite way. And we did get that nice violent reaction on the higher time frames. So 51, 51.10, 49.79, 46.06, in my opinion, represent good downside targets for a short position at this point in time. And we'll be looking for nice consolidation and bullish reaction off of any of those levels to be looking for an opportunity to re-enter. So regardless of whether you're looking for the trade to the downside or you're looking for areas to buy back in, either way, those areas represent hot spots on the chart where things are likely to happen. It's going to get popping in there. We do see the daily 200 exponential moving average giving us nice confluence with that $4,600, 46.06 region as well. And our daily 100 exponential moving average and daily 55 exponential moving average going to give us some nice confluence right now with the zone between our horizontal and weekly 200 exponential moving average and our weekly Tenkan. So very critical areas on the chart is going to be obviously the 4,600, 46.06 region, the $49.79, $4,900 region, and then obviously the region between 4,100 and 4,200. So if you're looking for long-term accumulation or long-term targets for shorts, there you go. And that's how I'll be playing the chart as well. All right. Okay. Is there a GoFundMe for your chair yet? Cryptomeister asks. Listen, man, let me tell you this. Me and Sally have been through a lot together. A lot, okay? And, you know, me and Scott talked about this, like, you know, I am thinking about buying one of those nice gaming chairs. It'd probably be better on my lower back because, you know, I did a lot of aggressive bodybuilding in my 20s and didn't do my back any favors. That's why I've switched to doing lower weight, not lower weight, but still heavy. But you know, I'm not putting 405 pounds on my back and sitting down and standing back up again. I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I'm not lifting 500. I'm not lifting 535 off of the ground, which is what I used to do when I was younger. I'm focused more on CrossFit, pull-ups, sprints, clean and presses, clean and pulls, hitting the heavy bag. Really focusing on, you know, the heavy bag and my form and my style right now. There's not a good gym around here where I can roll jiu-jitsu, but if I can find one, you know, there is one, but it's like an hour away. So it's like, you know, I want to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And, you know, it's just one of those things. So anyways, so it'd probably be good. That was a long divergence on my freaking lower back. But anyways, that's not important. But thinking about that, but if you want to be a good trader, my recommendations: build in a this and that strategy and find yourself a chair that can get you through the battlefield, man. Me and Sally, we've been through ups, downs. We've been through late nights, early mornings, coffee spills. Been through it all, man. Bitcoin's exciting again. Yes, sir. Twitch not showing in the comments. Twitch not showing in the comments. On the tubes, I'll have to fix that. I think it is. Hashtag buy the chair. All right, Sally. Sorry, but you know, you heard Cryptomeister. It's time to go into the what do they call that? It's time to go to the place where old chairs go to die. All right, so Yeah, that's about it, man. That's the HTF. Yeah, over here is where I'll come and do it. CHTF. Okay. So let's get back to the live scene here real quick and check back in. All right, we have not broken down through the Kumo cloud yet. We also have not, we closed below the 15 minutes, or excuse me, we closed the 15 minute below the ascending trend line, but popped right back up. Not able to get back above our key June. Do we have that bearish TK cross? No, they're equal. They're battling it out for supremacy right now, so definitely an area of consolidation. Future cloud is bullish, so we would be looking for that close. If you wanted to take a momentum long, you would be looking for that close now above the 15-minute key June to be looking for a long position. For me, pretty comfortable in my short position. Again, not one I'm going to be willing to lose money on, but I'm comfortable in my short position, especially if we start seeing Bitcoin break this ascending trend line and break below the hourly key, or break below the the 15-minute Kumo cloud. Getting back to the hourly time frame, let's go to the hourly, and we'll just start moving ourselves up. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Looking to get that bearish TK cross a little sooner than expected here on the hourly. Again, the hourly rejecting as well. Price just squeezing below the ascending trend line and the key June. Hourly is about to cross below the 0 line, giving an hourly trending to the downside signal. The 3 hour, man, look at that, on the 3 hour, look at that Darth Maul candle on the 3 hour. That's a good one. Look at that 3 hour came perfectly down to the 3 hour key June, bounced right back up. 3 hours been really good on this, man. Look at that. Really good on that. Price closes below the 3 hour Tenkan. Just wait. Price closes above the 3 hour Tenkan. Be in the trade. Price looking like it's going to close below the 3 hour Tenkan, so maybe be out. But again, I would. So I guess there's two scenarios, right? There's two scenarios. There's this scenario, right? There's that scenario, and then there's this scenario, right? And then there's this scenario. There's that scenario, okay? So scenario A, scenario B. And you're welcome to play either scenario. The end result is going to be the same. The end result is going to be the same. Rejection from this higher level and breakdown. Again, whether it is the ascending triangle formation, which you can see that we tried to break above and then immediately rejected from, that initiation level on there. So you guys can see on the 3 hour and the hourly, you can see the ascending triangle formation. Whether it's going to be the ascending triangle climaxing and pushing up here to that $5,780, $5,800 region on BitMEX and then rejecting, or whether it is a breakdown from here and tapping into liquidity. So this has already happened. So now we'd be looking for that return to that $4,600 level. Excuse me, the $4,900 level. 49.69 is the level on the BitMEX chart. Which would also be the 3 hour Kumo cloud, and then a spike back up to retest. But again, you're going to get that sideways consolidation. So those are the two main scenarios that I see price action working itself and playing out with. You're welcome to play either one. I think again, I'm bearish right now. I'm in a short position. I think there is a good argument to be made to the upside. So just use your best judgment and take the best trade that you possibly can. But again, if you're looking for the longer term positional trade, just be prepared to be short, man. Safu Trades, Blockchain Gains. Good to see you, mate. All right, it's 6:01, man. I got to jump, man. I got to jet, dude. I've got dinner to cook, and then I'm going to come back for the evening session. So if you guys, in the members group, if you guys have any questions, want me to do any charting, if you have any questions about the positions we're in, drop them in the chat. Or not drop them in the chat, drop them in the Discord, man, in the private Discord, and we'll hash it out when I get back for the evening session. Let's see here. Bad Andy, that's tensorcharts.com. tensorcharts.com. All right, guys, but that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for having a wonderful evening stream. Sorry about the delay. We will be back at our regularly scheduled time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, we're going to try to only be doing cryptocurrency shows. So if you guys want to hear us talk with somebody relevant from the cryptocurrency space about technology, about the future of cryptocurrency, that's what we're going to do on Sunday nights. So it's been good, man. You guys have all been amazing. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic again, wherever you happen to be tuning in from. I hope you guys are being safe out there. Have SAFU trades, everybody. If you guys would like to help support the stream in any way, make sure to click that subscription button. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch as well, highly appreciate it. It helps us out. Click the notification bell as well, because that way you can get notified whenever we do a show. If you guys hit the like button, we also appreciate that. Obviously, the like goal for this video is 500 likes. If we can get there, that would be amazing. I don't know if we're there already. Are we there already? Maybe. Maybe tuning in from. I hope you guys. 51. Now 52, because I liked my own video. So if we get to 500 likes, that'd be amazing. Maybe I should set the bar lower. Let's start with like 100 likes. Maybe we'll get to 100 likes and things will be good. So anyways, let's see here. You guys can check out krakencryptocurrency.com/merch if you'd like to pick up a coffee cup that can improve the efficacy of your trading by about 80%, your personal attractiveness by about 90%. And then, of course, if you would like to trade along more closely with myself and our team, you guys can, of course, check out the banner at the top of the screen, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com, to get access to my webinar series, to get access to our private Discord community, to get access to my custom indicators and strategies, as well as all the trade signals and setups from the analysts and traders at Kraken Cryptocurrency. I digress. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. That's about it for me. If you have any questions, comments, sarcastic remarks, and/or death threats, leave them in the comments section down below. Shout out to X42 Protocol, Spectre Security Coin, MMO Coin, and your Crypto Daily. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for all your support. And that's it, man. Until tomorrow, guys. Trade safely.